He forgot who he even was. Let me ask you, have you ever felt like that? Like you were chasing love, when maybe the real path was becoming someone worthy of love, not by their standards, but by yours? Alex closed the book and made a quiet vow that night. No more proving, no more pleasing. He would stop chasing validation and start chasing character. That was the moment everything changed.
And what happened next?
Well, let's just say, women started noticing something different in him. And not because of his bank account. They noticed his energy, his calm, his depth. And that, my friend, is where the real story begins. So before we move on, pause for a second and think, who were you the last time you fell in love? And who do you want to be the next time? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might just discover that you've had the power all along. It was just buried beneath the noise. Part 2. Why women secretly love these 5 things more than money. Let me ask you something a little raw. Have you ever been left for a guy who didn't even seem like he had it all together? Not as good looking, not as wealthy, maybe not even as educated, but somehow she chose him anyway. It stings, doesn't it? But here's what most men don't understand. Women aren't wired to fall in love with your resume. They fall in love with how they feel in your presence. You see, the world keeps shouting, get the bag, stack cash, show off your lifestyle. But behind closed doors, most women are secretly craving something else entirely. Let's break down the 5 things women love more than money, even if they never say it out loud. 1. Emotional stability. Let's start with the one that women feel first, even if they can't explain it. It's not your words, not your jokes, not your gifts. It's how you make her feel in chaos. You don't raise your voice. You don't fall apart when things get tough. You don't punish her with silence. You become the eye of the storm, still strong and deeply grounded. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That calm presence? It's like a shelter in her emotional weather, and no amount of money compares to a man who can hold space for her when she can't even hold space for herself. 2. Purpose that pulls you forward. You could be rich. You could be poor. But if you're drifting through life like a leaf in the wind, she'll feel it. Women are drawn to men who move like they have somewhere to go. A purpose, a mission, a why. Marcus wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." Even if your life isn't flashy, if you live with intention, you become magnetic. She doesn't care how much you make. She wants to know what moves you when no one's watching. When she sees you building something, she starts to imagine building with you. 3. Self-mastery. This is bigger than willpower. It's discipline, restraint, control. When she sees you building something, she starts to imagine building with you. 3. Self-mastery. This is bigger than willpower. It's discipline, restraint, control. You're not addicted to your phone. You don't rage when you're angry. You don't flirt for validation or chase women for ego. You're centered, even when no one's watching. And guess what? She can sense it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. In other words, don't copy the chaos. Master yourself. Because a man who doesn't flinch becomes a man she never wants to walk away from. 4. Deep, unwavering presence. Let's get real. When's the last time you sat with a woman? Phone off, mind quiet, and truly heard her? Not just listened. Heard her. Noticed her eyes. Caught the tremble in her voice. Sat with her story without trying to fix it. Most guys are halfway out the door before she finishes her sentence. But when she meets a man who is fully there, not just in body but in soul, she opens up like never before. Marcus Aurelius knew the power of presence. Confine yourself to the present. That kind of attention, it makes her feel seen. And when a woman feels seen, she feels safe. And when she feels safe, she loves deeply. 5. Integrity that speaks louder than words. You can't fake this one. Integrity isn't in your Instagram bio. It's in your patterns. It's in how you treat the people who can't give you anything back. It's in how you show up, especially when it's inconvenient. She's not just watching your charm, she's watching your choices. Marcus said it best. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Women admire a man who's predictable in the best way, who keeps his word, who doesn't bend his values when no one's watching. It doesn't matter how rich you are. If your character is bankrupt, it all falls apart. But when you walk with quiet honor, she'll walk with you anywhere. So take a moment, brother. Which of these 5 are you living right now? And which ones do you need to build? You don't need to be flashy. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to lead yourself. Because when you do, she won't need convincing. She'll feel it. And next up, I'll share exactly how Marcus Aurelius would guide you today if he were your mentor in love, purpose, and masculinity. Part 3, 10. Marcus Aurelius Suggestions for Love and Masculinity. Now, I want you to imagine something. Close your eyes just for a second and picture this. You're walking through the ancient halls of a marble palace late at night. The world outside is quiet. Torches burn softly on the stone walls. And at the end of that corridor stands a man regal, calm, and weathered with the weight of empire. Marcus Aurelius. He doesn't speak like a ruler. He speaks like a father, a philosopher, a brother. And tonight he doesn't talk politics. He talks to you man to man. He sees your struggles. He knows about the woman who left without warning. The ache of not feeling enough. The nights where your confidence vanished. The times you doubted whether real love would ever come. And then, in a quiet, measured voice, he gives you 10 simple suggestions, truths carved out of war, wisdom and watching the world, not to make you better for her, but to make you unshakable for yourself. Here's what he says. 1. Don't chase, radiate. Marcus would tell you, stop running after attention. Stop trying to impress everyone. Stand still, root yourself, and become the kind of man who naturally draws others in by the calm of his presence. He would say, dig deep within yourself, for there is a fountain of goodness ever ready to flow. When your energy is focused inward, not outward, women feel it. 2. Learn to sit with discomfort. Don't run from pain. Don't numb it. Face it, because masculinity isn't found in avoiding suffering. It's found in what you do when it arrives. Marcus wrote, you must build up your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible. Growth hurts, but avoidance keeps you small. 3. Seek truth, not validation. Don't live to please. Speak what you know is right, even when it's unpopular, because one honest sentence will always outshine 1,000 charming lies. Marcus reminds us, never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word, or lose your self-respect. Be real, be raw, be you, she will feel it. 4. Cultivate inner peace like a fortress. Stop letting moods control you. Your strength is not in how loud you are, but in how calm you stay. Marcus would say, nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. When she sees you stay composed in chaos, she'll trust you with her heart. 5. Live by principles, not preference. Set a code. Stick to it. Don't be blown around by feelings or trends. Be someone who knows what he stands for. Marcus said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Integrity is your backbone. Without it, no love lasts. 6. Speak less, mean more. Every word should land. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You need to speak with clarity and conviction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, let your discourse be brief and comprehensive. Women listen with their hearts, not just their ears. Speak with intention. 7. Respect yourself first. How you treat yourself is the silent instruction you give others on how to treat you. Don't beg for attention. Don't tolerate disrespect. Raise your standard. Marcus would say, how much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? The more you love yourself, the less you chase anyone who doesn't. 8. Practice stillness every day. We're addicted to noise. Marcus spent moments every day reflecting on his thoughts, fears, and actions. He would say, look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. Stillness is where you meet your real self. 9. Don't expect, express. Expectations kill love. Expression gives it life. Don't expect her to fill your emptiness. Fill yourself and give freely. Marcus reminds us, receive without pride, let go without attachment. Love isn't about getting, it's about giving with presence. 10 is remember, you're going to die. Not to scare you, but to free you. You don't have forever. Say what matters. Be who you are. Love with your full heart. Marcus Aurelius reflected on death not with fear, but with clarity. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. That woman you're dreaming of, she wants a man who lives like his time is sacred. Because when you understand that every moment could be your last, you stop wasting them. So take a breath, brother. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. Rooted, calm, purposeful, present. Because when you live with this kind of masculinity, women notice. People notice. You notice. This is the kind of man Marcus Aurelius was. And this is the kind of man you were born to become. And in the next part of this video, we'll bring it all together. How stoic love isn't cold but alive with clarity. Part 4. The unseen power of stoic love. Let's pause for a second, because now that you've made it this far, I want to ask you something that most people never get asked. Not by their friends, not by their parents, not even by their partners. Here it is. Have you ever been loved for who you truly are? Without masks? Without performance? Without pressure to become someone else? If your answer is no, you're not alone. Most of us have only been loved for what we give. Attention, security, validation, physical attraction, success. But stoic love? That's something different, something deeper. You see, we're taught that stoicism means being cold, emotionless, untouchable. But that's not what Marcus Aurelius lived by. His version of stoicism wasn't about shutting down. It was about standing strong. It wasn't about being distant. It was about being disciplined with your emotions so that love could actually thrive. Let me explain. Stoic love doesn't crumble when she has a bad day. It doesn't lash out when things get hard. It doesn't manipulate. It doesn't play games. It doesn't disappear when feelings get complicated. It holds steady. It stays grounded in truth. And most importantly, it gives even when it doesn't get. Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." That's what stoic love is about. It's the man who listens deeply, even when he doesn't fully understand. The man who stays calm when his partner is spiraling. The man who doesn't try to fix her emotions, but creates space for her to safely feel them. It's not that he lacks emotion, it's that he masters it, so he can be a safe place for the people he loves. Because love without emotional control, that's chaos, and chaos is where relationships go to die. But love built on virtue, on clarity, consistency, and calm, that's the kind of love women don't walk away from. So I'll ask you again, brother, when's the last time you felt steady in love? Not chasing, not overthinking, not shrinking yourself to be liked, but standing strong in your values, your presence, your purpose, and letting her meet you there. Because here's the truth. Women don't need a perfect man. They need a grounded one, a man who is whole with or without them, but chooses them with intention. That's the love they never forget. That's stoic love. And it's not just for philosophers. It's for you, right now, today. Whether you're healing from heartbreak, stuck in the cycle of casual dating, or waiting for something real, this isn't about becoming colder. It's about becoming clearer. Clear in what you value, clear in how you show up, clear in what kind of love you're no longer willing to accept, and what kind of love you're ready to create. So what do you do with all this? You stop chasing approval. You start chasing alignment. You stop proving your worth. You remember your worth, and when you do, the right woman doesn't just notice you. She feels safe to love you fully because she knows you're not going anywhere. Not because you're obsessed, but because you've chosen her with presence and peace. And that's a love you can build a life on. If this message hits something deep inside you, if you're still here watching, it means something. It means you're not like most men. It means you're ready for something more. So do this right now. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, because we're not just making content, we're creating a movement. A place where men reclaim their calm, their depth, their power, and finally build the love they've been searching for. And with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, have you ever wondered, what do women truly desire, not just in a man, but in a partner they deeply respect? No, it's not a sports car, not a six-pack either. And despite what the internet says, it's not just about being a millionaire. Here's the secret: what women crave, often in silence, goes far deeper than money. And believe it or not, a Roman emperor from nearly 2,000 years, Marcus Aurelius, outlined the traits that still, to this day, stir something powerful in the hearts of women. His philosophy, Stoicism, may seem like cold ancient wisdom at first glance, but when applied in real life, it becomes a magnetic force of calm, strength, and depth. So stay with me until the very end, because I'm going to share not just 5 things women secretly value more than money, but also the 10 suggestions Marcus Aurelius might give you if he were alive today. And hey, if you care about becoming better, Not just richer or more admired, but wiser and more irresistible. Then hit that like button and subscribe right now. Because this video might just change your love life. Let's dive in. Part 1, the moment that changed everything. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever fallen for someone so deeply you could almost feel their presence even when they weren't there? Like the sound of their voice lived in your head. The way they looked at you made the world feel still. You believed, maybe even just for a moment, that this one could be different. We've all had a love like that, or lost a love like that. Or maybe, just maybe, we're still waiting for that kind of connection to show up. This story begins with someone just like you. His name was Alex. And honestly, he wasn't a bad guy. He worked hard, had a stable job, dressed sharp, said all the right things, and even held doors open. But no matter how polished he was, relationships kept slipping through his fingers. Ever felt that way? Like you're trying, but somehow it's never enough. The women he dated would say things like, "You're so nice, but I don't feel that spark." Or worse, "I just need someone a little more grounded." What did that even mean? It crushed him. Not because he needed to be someone else, but because deep down, he knew he was showing up in pieces. Always adjusting, performing, hoping he'd be enough for her to stay. Then one night, alone in his apartment, another date gone silent. Another scene with no reply. He picked up a book that had been collecting dust on his shelf. A random recommendation from a podcast. It was Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. No big expectations. He was just trying to distract his mind. But then, he read a line that hit him like a slap in the face. "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." That one sentence cracked something open in him. He realized he wasn't lacking money or looks. He was lacking presence. He was so focused on being impressive, he forgot how to be real. So focused on getting the girl,